Hello guys, Termex here, and welcome back to another Wonderlands build video. In today's video, I don't know what I'm going to name this build quite yet, but this build is really freaking fun. Now, in comparison to my original GAMEBREAKER SPORE WARDEN build where I was using a ×18 Torque shotgun, this is kind of a better take on that, because I know the console community can't just download my save files, and getting these pistols is very common from the loot bunny, and you're not really looking for any specific parts. All you're really looking for when it comes to this pistol is going to be the ×2 prefix, or maybe not even that, just whatever is a Luddite of Blastoff. Now there is many different variations, like right here I do have a fire one that is TNT, and the TNT is going to do more damage alongside the fire damage even though the card doesn't show it. But this is what you're looking for. You've probably seen these 100 times on your journeys, and these are amazing. Heck, even if you can't find these, which in itself is pretty easy to do, you could find them. You could even do something like the Loiter Sack. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Basically the same thing, but without the bonus gyrojet damage, and it's almost like the Walmart variation of the ×18 Torque shotgun, but we're going to make it work. Now, something else I do want to point out, this is Chaos 35. Look at the enemy HP, 1,067% higher, compared to Chaos 20, which was 541. So they doubled the HP values in the latest updates, yet Primordials only gave us 7% more damage on our guns. Good job, Gearbox. But to combat this, we are actually going to be using a sham thing. This is the sham way, basically the sham shield from Borderlands 2, and it has a 80% absorb chance. But I'm using a lesser torque shotgun. Don't need to be ×18, doesn't even need to be a good torque shotgun. You want a low level 1 to do this. It's very simple. Make a new character, farm a shop, make a new character, find it. It's very simple to get a low level. This can be a ×4, a ×6, a ×2. As long as it's a torque sticky shotgun that you could shoot at your feet and reload and not kill yourself but still absorb ammo, that's all you need for this. So now that we have that and our pistol, what else do we need? Well, in all honesty, that's really it. You could use your own gun damage. I do have a great Shark's Bane. This gives us a bunch of shotgun critical hit, but we are not using a shotgun, unfortunately, because out of respect for Jolt's dude's build, he did do something similar to this. After I made this build, I found out that he did this kind of setup, but with a ×18 torque shotgun. In that own right, that is still a great build, but I just want to put that out there. I don't want to piggyback off of something that's already been done. And arguably, this is way more accessible to the player base than a perfect ×18 volatile or primordial shotgun from Torg that also has 16% projectiles per shot. That's also in cryo. And, you know, it's a lot of thing to ask for, especially the console community. So I hope this is a good replacement for you guys. As for amulets, I have Stabbomancer power, because the more Stabbomancer power we have, the more time in from the shadows we gain. So it's easier to pull off these sort of things because we do have to stand still. But when you're invisible, it doesn't really matter that you stand still. Of course, you know, AI in this game is just terrific, so they'll probably still shoot you when you're invisible. Now, we are not using a Buffmeister, we are actually using a Fortifying Sigil, but why? Why would we use that over a Buffmeister? Now, reason being we are not using a Buffmeister is because when we do use one, just to point it out, now when we normally shoot the ground with these Torque Stickies and reload, we're going to be taking damage, but we don't want to die. And as you see, it is not hurting us, but the second we pop a Buffmeister and do the same exact thing, it does a lot of damage. I'm not going to stand there and get myself killed, but you get the point. Now, the Sigil, on the other hand, does provide us more damage, but not so much more damage that we're going to end up downing ourselves when we do the same exact thing, because it's not an extra element putting more stress on our shield. As for your melee, this is completely optional. I just like to use it as a stat stick, and the Goblin Pickaxe is a whole lot of fun. But now, before I get into the skill tree, I will mention that the way this works is you are going to pop your Sigil first most of the time, but I like to do from the shadows. Pop your Sigil, put this into the ground, and then you're going to swap weapons to your pistol in sticky mode. You're going to constantly spam this, and keep doing this as long as you can. And then when you're done, reload, and you can see all those 300Ks, 100Ks, 500Ks. That's basically what you're doing here. That is going to be your cycle. You're going to sticky the floor, pop a Sigil, pop. You don't even need fadeaway in the first place. Just in general, this interaction here will do a significant amount of damage. As you can see, once we pop the reload at the end of this, we're still hitting for 546k, and then it goes down. We saw a 483k as well, and the damage is pretty amazing. But the important things to look out for when it comes to the Spore Warden tree first are Eagle Eye for the bonus gun damage, Bounty of the Hunt to get our fadeaway back quicker, Spore Cloud and Medicinal Mushroom is going to be nice as we get a taunt ability for a de-aggro, and our Mushroom Companion will revive us. And of course, Quiver of Holding, because magazine size is of the utmost importance when it comes to this build, allowing us to shoot more and give us a little bit more room for error. And I just put 1 point into Windrunner because it was a extra point after I had everything said and done. Arsenal is great as it boosts our melee damage, our spell damage, and our gun damage by 15%. Now Haste is great because we get a 12% movement speed increase, and when we cast a spell, this effect is doubled. And then we got Potent Poisons for 20% more status effect damage and 40% more status effect duration. That is important because we need that 6% bonus damage per status effect from Exploit Their Weaknesses. When we do fire damage, this is very, very noticeable. Based on what you're doing, this isn't the go-to. But with a build like this, yes, arguably you could switch to Spell Shot and do more damage in this. Yes, Spell Shot's great, but I'm trying to transition away from Spell Shot, and I do learn that without From the Shadows, this build is very, very annoying to set up. You have to stand still with your sigil, shoot at your feet, swap to another weapon. By then, 90% of the bosses in this game are either going to punch you away from your whole setup, pull you towards them, ground stomp you, or just kill you. And I think having Stabbo to be invisible to execute this is very, very helpful. Again, we do have Sneak Attack with 15% bonus critical hit damage, 1 point to Elusive, so we get 10% evasion at default walk speed, plus we could shoot while running, which is great. Like I said before, 5 out of 5 into 1,000 cuts. It's just boosted by 2 more from our class mod, giving us around 30% more damage. And I threw an Executioner's Blade because we're hitting for gun damage, and it's just a free point. This point wasn't going to be spent anywhere else. Maybe if you don't want Executioners, just pop another into Windrunner. And I do want to talk about Called Shot. Yes, Called Shot is nice, but you have to reload to get the damage from this build. And the second you reload and you un-ADS, you're going to lose all your Called Shot stacks, making this ability pretty useless for this setup. I am also going to start doing this thing where I spec hero points in front of you guys so you know what I do. Now, I do put crit damage all the way up with this build, maxing it out, giving us a whopping 33% critical hit damage because I was raised by elves on this character when it came to my Spore Warden. Kind of bit me in the ass for this exact build as it gave me +4 dexterity, but of course I know a lot of you do run Village Idiots. Other than that, we do want to have skill cooldown. Now, Attunement is one of those more overlooked action skill things, and I think it's great to max this out because you are getting a good amount of action skill cooldown rate, allowing us to go into From the Shadows a lot more often. And then finally, I like to put my last 13 points into Intelligence and a little bit of Wisdom. You could just do all Intelligence for your spell cooldown, but I find my spell comes back rather quickly. But me personally, I kind of do like a half and half split so I get the best of both worlds. Now we have 46% bonus Stabbo power, and this is super awesome because with the Stabbo power, we actually get plus 40% longer from the shadows, allowing us to execute whatever we need to do. And now this build could be slightly better if you had plus 50% bonus crit damage, but minus 50% lower crit chance on the class mod. I haven't found a good one. I do have a few, but they have too many bad skills that benefit melee more than anything, and we're getting more versatility and utility off of skills that actually boost our damage as opposed to a stat stick. Now finally, for my myth rank, I am at 259. Nothing great. I try my best to avoid the final capstones so my builds aren't affected. I really wish Gearbox would let us turn this off so I could test my builds in their entirety without having to worry about it, but you know, maybe they'll fix that one day. I never done this before, but let's end the video with a quick parasite kill to show you guys how it works. And I do want to mention, don't overshoot your pistol because it is possible to hit the sticky cap where the game just won't register any of the stickies. It will delete them all, and then, well, you're kind of screwed in that department, and all the explosions will do absolutely nothing. So limit yourself. You'll learn when is too much and when is not enough, but most of the time you'll get a nice quick melt like this one. But that's really it, guys. That is the build. It's a lot of fun, and like I said before, with the current state of Chaos 35 builds, this thing definitely keeps up. Not on raid bosses. Yeah, that's a whole topic for another video on how raid bosses are just walking health at the moment. But if you guys want to download the save file, PC save file is in the description below for any of you guys that are interested. And yeah, on console, make sure you farm those bunnies. These pistols drop basically every time I do a chaos run. They're very common, and you're gonna get it probably in 1 to 3 runs tops. And yeah, but if you guys did enjoy this video, it would mean a lot if you guys hit the like button down below, as it helps my content get spread out more to the Wonderlands and Borderlands community. Make sure you guys subscribe so you never miss out on another video from me. But you guys have a terrific day, and I'll see you guys later.